Sword's been through some changes. Alright, so the sword has a different tip on it now, due to some trouble I had with the design of it. The rest of it looks the same, hasn't changed other than just the tip. The points of the tuning fork design have been joined together in a kind of like a needle kind of look. The reason for that was because when I took it out the other day to do the testing for it, the slashing edge, the really fine slashing edge, did really well. The smashing edge also held up just fine. But when I did the final test with it, which is I have this giant boulder that I hit with the sword to make sure it can handle taking pretty much any level of impact. When I hit it, the vibration from this was so great because of the tuning fork design that the thinner edge on the back couldn't handle the vibration, and it snapped off like right across there. So I reattached it and annulled the steel again so I could reforge it again. But after I got done doing that, I took it out and tested it again, and the exact same thing happened. It snapped in the pretty much exact same spot. So I had to redo the design of the sword so that the tip right here is now joined together so that vibration's not going to resonate so bad in the tip anymore. So yeah, that's pretty much the only change. Alright, so I'm getting a pretty good close-up right there of it. As they've been joined together, they're now one piece of steel. There's a little bit of a blemish right there, but I'm not going to bother getting it out because it's so small. Other than that, the sword remains pretty much the same. It still has the slashing edge on one side, the very thin and sharp edge, and then the very coarse and thick smashing edge on the other side. Going in a little bit more detail, the smashing edge was what I was hitting with the boulder, and the vibration of that would actually transfer to the slashing edge, which was just sitting by itself, and the vibration was so bad that it just snapped right there twice. So after doing that with the tip here, I've thoroughly tested it again, and it now does hold up to anything I can do to it, but I don't know, it still looks pretty good, but I kind of liked the tuning fork design personally, and it kind of sucks that I have to go away from that, but what are you going to do, right? Alright, so now that massive setback is finally behind me, I can start moving forward with the design of the sword, getting it closer to completion. The next step, finally, is going to be getting all the scratches out from the hard wheel and the flap disc with the angle grinder, and I'm going to be doing, basically just taking a piece of, you know, I think it's 60 grit, maybe 80, somewhere in there, basically just going against, because the circle of the angle grinder makes these little grooves in the sword, these little scratches, and now I have to go against that grain and basically just polish the whole sword by hand and get all of those scratches out. You know, it's times like this when I start to question the hobby I've chosen. Oh yeah, that's why. Alright, so now that that horribleness is done, and I can kind of start to see myself in it a little bit. So for the next part, I'm going to have to bust out the table buffer. Flat compound on the coarse wheels first, and that will get most of the buffing and smoothing done so that it looks more shiny than this, but it takes the longest, so this part's really boring. And this is the sword after the first level of shining. Still have one more to go, but it's coming along quite well, and I can see myself in it pretty easy, and it's just about there. So the next side is going to be with the softer, more pillowy side with the green high gloss polish, and that's going to that will give it that perfect mirror shine when it's all done. And there we have it. The blade has reached its maximum level and is finished. After all that, the blade itself is finally done. But that doesn't include the hilt. So I'm still going to have to make that. And I'm also going to make a sheath for it. So that's going to be the last part of the final part of the creation of this sword.